We are going to create this doodle style illustration while I show you my process. So we start off with this semicircle and like this for a nose. I'm going to make ear like this. So we are basically doodling a face right now. And I'm going to create the eyebrows like this. I'm also going to show you another way of doing that using guidelines. If you're not very comfortable directly drawing doodles, because at first you have to use guidelines to be able to get the hang of exactly where which feature is placed. Now you can already see that I've started creating eyes like this. This is my way of creating eyes, and you can draw it in your unique art style. If you're still exploring your art style, then you can maybe experiment and try different ways and simplify eyes basically. So just using a few semicircles, lines, and exaggerating the lashes. Now here are a few ways of drawing the mouth, and I'm going to go with this last one. I would want you to experiment. Now again, I have this style of adding shadow like this. So I'm making the neck and body and like this simple 3-4 lines for the top, and now I'm going to add the hair. Now it's very tricky to draw hair without guideline, but you like have to see roughly what proportionately looks nice, and make sure that you don't end the hair like with a tangent. You can see like this or the other way I showed you. So basically just loosely, abruptly stop them so don't form tangents. Now you could either go ahead and draw strokes in the line art itself, or I'm going to show you the way I do it to add texture and do it like traditional coloring. At this stage you can go ahead and fix stuff and maybe using liquefier tool or erasing and going back and forth and perfecting the sketch so that it looks proportionately right. Now the other method is using this guideline. I've also added a stamp in the description, but this is the way I create the stamp. It's very tedious to go ahead and create it again and again. So divide this circle in half like this, and horizontally and vertically. So this is how I'm going to create these guidelines. There are various different sides, directions, 3/4, half. I'm going to create a whole new video, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn that. This is a part of my program, so I'm going to share more details about that in the other video, and you can sign up for that and join the waitlist. After that, you create these semicircles, and at the end and top of it, draw a line like this. I'm going to create a detailed video about this, so don't worry. This is just so that if you want to create the illustration using this guideline, you can use the stamp and see how it's created. Now using another color, I'm going to add the face right here. Now the line that I drew it at the bottom can be as equal distance, or if you want a long face, etc., you can do that. Now I'm writing eyes here, mouth, where each of these things go based on the guideline. This is a stylized illustration and not realistic, so you can play around with the proportions, breaking the rules basically. So when you know the rules, only then you can break them, especially because we're creating stylized illustrations. And make sure that you create a little bigger features, so you can see the distance between two eyes is usually another eye, so you can place things accordingly. Using the guideline, it looks a little more proportionately right, while you've also cartooned it and stylized it. Now this is how I'm going to add the neck, and again you just can create the whole illustration, especially because you know where the hair starts and ends. Again, if you want to add flicks, then it would go beyond the hairline, and just loosely, lightly going to and fro and just placing the hairstyle similar to the one that I doodled out. You can see I'm doing that right here, adding the body part. Again, for the shoulders, you can draw these 2 circles and then draw the body like this. Again, you can see that this is what I was saying. You shouldn't add tangents like this. I'll fix that in the line art stage. And I usually draw the line art with another color, so it's easier for me to the sketch, so it's easier for me to do the line art. And now you can fix things, and that's the beauty of digital art. And I'm going to place it in the middle because this is a sketch, you can transform it. Now I'll go with the doodle itself, and I'm going to change the background color to lavender so that I can see this white. Using a white solid brush, I'm going to add these swirls, and after drawing all of these, I'm going to use the color dropper tool, continue filling, and tap to fill rest of this. This is a new feature. And after that, I'm going to alpha lock by swiping 2 fingers on the layer, and using this painting round brush. I'm using all the free brushes, and you can use the color palette in the link in the description. And I'm going to add and play around with colors. You can do the same colors in all the swirls, or you can do different like I'm going to do. and just go to and fro, applying little pressure and then increasing it gradually. and going again with the colors, and where the two colors are merging, trying to create purple, I'm going to add purple. So you can do the way you want. And now you can see how I'm going to color all of these. All of these colors will be linked in the color palette basically of this illustration will be linked in the description box below, along with that guideline stamp. Now it's not looking great because the background is purple, but as soon as we are done doing this, we'll change it back to white like this, and now it looks way more vibrant. Now we are going to do the line art, and since this is a voiceover, I'm going to tell you that after finishing the illustration, I'll see that I feel it is a little empty, so I'll add more swirls later on. Now I'm going to use a dry ink brush for the texture, and on the layer above it, using a dry ink again, but with lesser stabilization and streamline to add color to the hair like this. So there is like a traditional vibe, a doodly hand-drawn effect. On layer below all the line art, I'm going to add colors like this, the skin color, and then on top layer I'm going to add white to the eyes and the top, and pink to the lips, fixing the hair. After that, I'm going to on a new layer, I'm going to using a monoline brush. Basically in the Apple Pencil setting you don't have the pressure setting, and I'm going to write this "You Are the Universe" hand lettering, or you can just play around with this. Basically the theme, I really like to incorporate lettering. And on a layer above all of this color, I'm going to add these white doodles using the same brush, and then adding the blush with the painting round brush and smudging it off, decreasing the opacity of the layer so that it's not very much in your face like situation. On a layer above that, I'm going to set it to multiply, and selecting this color, very light lilac, I'm going to add the shadow to give a little more character to the illustration. It's optional if you want to make a little more complex looking doodle. If you understand what I mean, you can add such effects, or you can even leave them. There are various different ways of adding effects. I've already created a lot of video regarding the same, and in future also I'm going to create more videos about the same. And I'm going to add some on the face. Then on a layer above that, using the colors and shader brush, again I'm going to add the strokes on the white of the t-shirt again to go with the background and add some color. Now on a layer above that, going to set it as soft light, and using black I'm going to add another layer of shadow to make it look even more 3D, adding my watermark, or you can sign it off. And you can see that, as I told you earlier, I'm going to add more swirls and complete it with more colors and the doodles, etc. Also adding these lines, and on the layer below all the layers I'm going to add this texture grid and reduce the opacity to give more doodly kind of an effect. After that, I'll pick the white color and decrease the saturation a bit, and on that I'm going to add the shadows to the swirls on layer below all of these colored layers to make it look a little more 3D even to the illustration. And with this we are done with the illustration. Go ahead and create this, and don't forget to tag me if you post and share it on Instagram. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if it was helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks a lot.